Welcome to the Art of Conversation. It's your girl Alicia C. And we out here recording live. Yo. Happy Friday, everyone. Good morning. I hope you're feeling fantastic this Friday. Yes. The weekend is here. Hope you guys made some plans. Take care of yourselves this weekend. The word for today's episode is conversation. Conversation. Hence the name, The Art of Conversation. Sometimes all it takes is having a conversation, right? Communication is key. Something that seems so effortless yet difficult for many to do is to communicate. Communication is a crucial part of our lives. It often comes in two forms, nonverbal and verbal. One of the main reasons I've started this podcast was to demonstrate to the listeners that you can create a conversation on and about anything by using just one word or phrase. And you'd be surprised at how much information you can exchange with another person or a group of people. In order for communication to be deemed effective, you need to be able to listen. And you need to be able to speak. Learning how to create meaningful dialogues with one another. Conversation. According to Oxford, conversation is a talk, especially an informal one, between two or more people in which news and ideas are exchanged. Even by starting with one word or a phrase, the conversation can change to another relatable topic. And boom, there goes yet another conversation. I think what people are afraid to do oftentimes is say what and how they actually feel without being judged. It's either people don't know how to start a conversation or hold one. Or maybe they overthink what a conversation should be, which is why it's so important to create a safe and non-judgmental space for people to speak freely. After all, we all have freedom of speech. We can agree to disagree. How am I supposed to know what you think, what you feel, or what you want if you don't say it, if you don't communicate it? Conversations. And we spark up conversations every day, right? At work, during lunch, at the cooler in the lunchroom, standing online, at the supermarket, in the bodega, on the bus, at the gas station, everywhere and anywhere, with anyone at any given time. Sometimes it can start off as something happens and you both agree. Oh, this line is taking long. Right? I've been hearing Or sheesh, the prices, I was just here last week and the price was X, Y, and Z. I know, I was just here yesterday and the price da. People tend to overthink how a conversation should go. See, a lot of people overthink and they're trying to think and assume that they know what the other person wants to hear. And that's where you fail yourself. You will never know what I'm thinking and feeling. I respect your transparency. I want to know what you think without me having to prep you. Or you ever came across those people that they have absolutely no clue how to think for themselves or speak, just absolutely nothing. And you always have to be the one to start the conversation. You have to be the one to initiate everything, even a single thought. Once you speak and say it, then they kind of bite off of what you say and think and then create a narrative and basically try to repeat what you said in a different way. Yeah, I don't like people like that either. I've came across some. And it's like, okay, let me know what you think. What do you think about that? Or I'll ask probing questions, because it's like, I don't need you to create a narrative to seem like you understand where I'm coming from or we're on the same page because I have to speak and prep you first. Let me see how you respond without me having to say anything. And you'd be surprised how much you learn about a person when you choose to be silent. Conversations, communication. How you communicate with your children. There's a right and wrong way. Some parents have such inappropriate conversations with their children. And some parents don't have the right conversations with their children. And what I mean by that is, you have some parents who will make sexual innuendos and say very not age appropriate things to their kids or even demonstrate certain things. And then you wonder why a kid speaks in a certain language or talk about certain things at such an early age. And then you have some parents who will do that but fail to have conversations that can prep their child for the real world. What does that look like? Relationships, friendships, how much information you should give to another person that you don't know that well. And even if you know them well, how much should you still share about yourself to another person? X, Y, and Z. Work. They say no talking at work, no talking on the production floor, no talking da-da-da-da. But it's like, hello. So we're robots. We're just going to just be here and work 7-8 hours and not strike up a conversation. You had a good night last night? What you have for dinner? You had a good day? How you feeling today? You don't seem like yourself. X, Y, and Z. This is human nature. I feel like across the board, conversations are necessary. You also have to build not only trust, but respect. When we talk and think about relationships, lack of communication skills, you guys can converse about other people, other things, but when it comes to having a conversation to know what your partner's mindset is, how do they feel about a certain topic? So, that's something that's key with me too. Like, I can kind of tell in a roundabout way if we would work or not based on your views. And it's not judgmental and it's not, oh, you don't agree with. I'm very, I love when people have opinions, and I like when people don't always agree with everything I say. I don't need a yes man, right? I need someone who's going to challenge. But I also want to hear why you think and feel the way you do so I can see it from your perspective. Be able to communicate that. You have couples who, the sex is good, or the person cleans and the person looks good, but they can't hold the conversation. And that's a pet peeve of mine too. Someone who doesn't know how to hold a conversation, because I feel like it's so, you can find something to talk about. Come on. We could be talking about a fruit. And then that fruit can lead into, I remember a time when I got an orange thrown at me, or I was running and then out of nowhere an orange came rolling in front of me and I tripped, and then da-da-da. You can find a conversation within a conversation within another conversation. You guys, you can find yourself sitting there for hours talking, and then you'll sit there and look back like, how did we even get on this topic? And we started off talking about oranges, or we started talking about school, and now we're talking about you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's awesome when you can converse with people with a like mind. And it's so important. And I like to encourage people to challenge themselves. Some people say, I'm shy. I don't want to talk. I don't like speaking and blah, 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 blah. And I get it. It's cool. But at some point, you have to open your mouth. People want and need to hear what you have to say. And how are we supposed to know and hear and do that if you don't have a conversation? Maybe you notice that a student who always comes to class in good spirits and always says good morning, maybe for the past couple of days he hasn't. You ask them what's going on. Nothing's going on, just a little tired, da da da. You notice school performance declines. Maybe when the parent comes and picks the child up, hey, can I have a conversation about you? Can I have a conversation with you about so and so? I noticed da da da. Is everything all right? You know, he says everything is all right, but something, you know, just a oh yes, you know, he did X, Y, and Z. We took away the PlayStation, Xbox. Can't go to his cousin's birthday party over the weekend, so now he's sulking. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it just takes a conversation. Sometimes you can brighten someone's day with just having a conversation. I don't feel like talking. Okay, respect that. Respect when people really don't want to converse. And sometimes, you know, they may not want to converse, but it doesn't mean they won't sit there and listen to what you have to say. All of a sudden now they're laughing. They're saying one or two words. Those one or two words branches into a whole full-blown conversation. You guys ever had an experience where you went on a date and after you guys eat and have dessert, you know, sometimes you have minimal talk in between your meals, telling stories, and then after dessert and you're just chilling or whatever, and it's just like you hear crickets, you know, you hear the birds chirping, and you just, you know, staring at each other, and then it's just like, so that's it? So we just came to eat? Like, you don't have nothing to say. I don't know what to say. I don't have nothing to say. It's like you don't have a single thought in your head. You can't say how was your day? It was alright. It was okay. What you do today? Went to work? Okay. Anything exciting? What did you learn differently today? Like, nothing? Okay. And then there's this awkward silence. All right, well, got anything special planned for the weekend? No. Not doing anything? Chilling. Okay. And then you're just sitting there like, well, aren't you? You're not going to ask me like what I'm, something, nothing? God damn. What a waste of my damn time. And in your mind, you're like, this person will never see me again and never talk to me again. Or how about those people who call you? Hello? What's up? Nothing, just got in. What's going on? Nothing. Okay. Well, what's up? What's up? I just got in. I'm just, you know, adjusting and settling in. What's going on? You called. What's up? Nothing. Just seeing what you doing. Okay. What you about to get into? Nothing. Well, how was your day? Ain't shit. Same shit. All right. Let me hit you back later. All right. It's like, come on now. Like, I can't get that time you just wasted back. You could have texted me, what's up? And we could have just, what's up? Quick text. Oh, okay, cool. And that's it. Or the people who want to play Michael Myers over the phone, right? Hello? Hey, what's going on? Nothing much. How was your day? Everything was good. Nothing out of the ordinary. I can't stand my boss. Oh boy, yeah, I know that feeling. Can't stand mine either. Let me tell you what my coworker did. Okay, conversation over. Now, yeah. So what's up? What are you doing? Nothing. I'm chilling. You watching anything? What you about to get into? Nothing. Hello? Yeah, I'm here. What you doing? Nothing, just watching something. Like, all right, I'm glad to hear that you're alive, you're breathing. But is that what you called me for? Like, I'm expecting to hear something and talk. I'm expecting a conversation. Like, I'll talk to you later. Or the people who don't know how to shut the hell up. See, when it comes to conversations, there got to be a equal give and take. And some people, you have those who just never ever. And it's like, can I get a chance to talk? Like, hey, see my hand? I'm raising my hand. Can I talk? Can I answer? And then some people, you have to start talking while they're talking so they could simmer down. And it's just like, some people take offense when you tell them, all right, I noticed, like, can I get a chance to talk? Like, some people actually can you believe that? Some people actually take offense to when you have to tell them, can I get a moment? Can I get a chance to talk? Can I finish what I'm saying? And some people aren't aware. They're just so excited to get it all out and talk. And then you have some people who do it in a way of trying to belittle you because they feel some type of way. So you got to use your discernment with those type of people. But it's so funny that you can tell a lot about a person and where they're at intellectually and what type of person they are just by having a conversation. And the crazy thing is, sometimes as humans, we tend to give people the benefit of the doubt when they sometimes just tell on themselves, right? So sometimes people will tell you their intentions through conversation or how they think before you even really get too involved with them. It's for you to hear it and not just say, oh, they're just chatting. And no, they're telling on themselves. They're telling you who they are. You just have to be able to pick up on it. Like I said, a conversation goes a long way. The first step to making conversations easier for you, if it is something that's difficult for you to do, the first thing is to be a good listener. When you try to genuinely listen, people will realize you care about them and you care about what they have to say, which in return builds their security and respect for you. So now when you speak, you feel safe to speak because they will reciprocate the same energy to you. Now, you have your cases where you're conversing with someone who is just set on misunderstanding you. The question is how to navigate through that. Now, you have some people who genuinely don't understand where you're coming from. It's for you to explain it. And me personally, and I've said this several times, I'm a person who works with and deals with different types of people, clients, age ranges, children, adults, teens, elders. So I have to find balance with how I communicate. Meaning I got to be able to communicate in a way that they can all understand where I'm coming from, and I'm able to modify it in a way that they understand. I also am very cautious of the modifications that I do, because if I'm speaking something of value, I don't want to modify it way too much where it becomes watered down, right? Defeats the purpose. So, for example, if I'm having a conversation with a youth, and just by nature, I might use words that an adult would understand and the child might not, and that's just me just talking regularly. I might use the big word, right? So if I'm talking to a child who maybe are ranging maybe 6 to 10, and I'm just having a conversation with them, yeah, you got to learn how to be respectful. You got to learn boundaries. I'll use the word with them, and then I'll explain to them what I mean by being respectful is X, Y, and Z. What I mean by boundaries is, and give them examples so that I'm introducing them to these words so they're familiar with it, but I'm also explaining and giving them examples so they understand the meaning of it. You have some people who made up their mind that they want to misunderstand you, and that in itself is just someone who's just trying to get under your skin and be an annoyance to you, sometimes even abusive, right? So what's an example? someone who deliberately hurts you or does something to you, and you're explaining to them what they said or did hurt you and why it made you feel a certain way, X, Y, and Z, and they're sitting there, but I don't understand how you could have felt that way because da 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 da, and you're explaining it to them, and they're like, yeah, but I or in some cases where you're saying something and the person can definitely agree with what you're saying and they know exactly what you're saying, what you mean, and that you're right, but they're going to still sit there and oppose and resist what you're saying just because it's you, right? You have some people, come on. We all seen it, experienced it, we know. There are people out there who do things deliberately just to get a rise out of you, a reaction to annoy you. And then sometimes you'll find yourself re-explaining. And it's just like, yeah, you just want me to get exhausted. You just want to drain my energy and exhaust me to repeat something that you probably already knew what I meant the first time, but you're just getting a rise out of it. So it's for you to navigate and know when someone's deliberately doing that and when someone is just, a little, okay, hold on. Bear with me. I'm trying to catch up and understand. And then you go through it with them. Because I've seen that happen a lot of times. I've seen people sit there and I've seen someone explaining something to someone, and I've had my share of times, and then after like the second repeat or third repeat, and I know that it's deliberately done, I just be like, yeah, and I just look, I'm like, but you knew that already, but you know, I'm just playing along with you, and sometimes I won't entertain it, but I've definitely witnessed some people who they'll be explaining something, the person just has a smirk on their face, and I could tell that they know damn well what the person is saying, and they're just deliberately and then the person's getting so frazzled, and they're like, but and the person's just sitting there just enjoying it, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, you should just leave it alone, because it's like, I mean, it's clear as day what this person is doing, and you're letting them get the best of you. So again, when you come across these type of people, you should remain clear about how you feel and what you want, and you leave it as that. Also, you look at the issue or issues from their perspective. So if you are explaining something that they don't understand and they're stuck in their, you know, their mind, their ways, they're firm on what they believe and think. Again, when we communicate and when we're having a conversation and when we're trying to get others to understand us, it's not a matter of we're trying to convince them to think like us, right? No, I want you to stay firm in what you believe and think. I'm not trying to convince you. I just want you to understand why I feel and think this way about this particular subject, topic, X, Y, and Z. And I want to hear what you think and how you feel about X, Y, and Z, right? That's how you initiate growth. Ask them to discuss what they're having an issue with understanding, right? You can have a instance where it's like, I get where you're coming from. I don't, you know, personally agree with you, but I understand why you think and feel that way. I understand where you're coming from. Totally get it. But, you know, I don't agree with you, but I understand why you would think that way and feel that way. Sometimes we tend to think people know what we mean when they don't. If things aren't going to plan, you should take a break. Take a break. Don't stress yourself out. Don't aggravate yourself. Take a break, because you'll only frustrate yourself and sometimes others, because then a conversation could go totally left, and now you guys went from conversing to arguing. Now you're fighting, and it's just like this, all of this came from just having a conversation about this. What? Yes, like I said, every so often you will meet a prick. So how much time and energy are you gonna invest in the prick? It's okay to, agree to disagree. Totally okay. Conversations. So do you guys have healthy conversations or negative ones, or is it a mix of both? Do you normally initiate conversations with others? Is it easy for you, or do others have to speak to you first? And if others have to speak to you first, What is your reason for not starting it first sometimes? Is it a matter of being shy? Is it a matter of not knowing what to say? Not wanting to feel weird? Well, what if I strike a conversation with the person, they just look at me if I'm like I'm stupid, or what am I talking about? They don't answer. Okay. Then they don't answer. Then you stop talking, you just smile, okay, have a good day, and keep it moving. Don't take offense to it. There's some people who will do that. You can't take everything personal. Conversations. Let's just say you and your spouse. Normally, on a Thursday, you drop the kids off, and your husband or wife picks them up in the afternoon. But this Thursday, you're running late at work. Your wife or husband is also running late from work. But nobody communicates anything. No one converses, no one sends a text. Hey, I need you to pick the kids up. I'm running late from work. The kids are still at school stranded. Nobody pick. Now the teachers or the security got to call one of the parents. Hey, oh yeah, I didn't tell you. Sometimes it just takes a quick conversation. I forgot to tell this person. Or maybe you did tell your wife, your husband. Maybe you told your spouse, I'm running late, and maybe they didn't respond. Or maybe you guys are angry at each other, and not communicating is your way of getting back at the person. But who suffers who suffers in this situation? The kids do. Now they're stranded at school waiting for one of you to come and pick them up. You're thinking the other one picked them up and they didn't, and you have too much pride or ego to reach out. Like, yeah, I know we're not on good terms, but hey, did you pick the kids up? Hey, I'm running late from work. La, 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 la. This could have been avoided had you just text me and let me know, or we could have just had a conversation on how the arrangements were going to be. I mean, it could be so simple. I'm just throwing an example off the top of my head. Even with grocery shopping, right? Hey, I'm going grocery shopping. You wrote the list out. It's on the table. Boom. Okay, I'm gonna, go pick up some stuff from the store on my way home. Maybe your spouse has the right intentions, but should have probably communicated, hey, I noticed you left the note on the table. I'm gonna go pick up some stuff. Both of you come home with the same things on the list. Now, yeah, sometimes it's good to have more extra, but then it's like, well, we could have broke this down. I could have said, well, I got this. Maybe you could pick up this. Split the list. It just takes a conversation or communication, right? If you have a misunderstanding in a friendship or a relationship, don't assume. It only takes a simple conversation. I felt this way and I thought this. Again, there goes that word discernment again, because you got to use your discernment. You can't teach people how to manipulate you either. So, an example of that is maybe your friend did something unintentionally and you took it. It hurt. You took offense to it. If you didn't tell them, they would never know that that was something that offended you, that they did that offended you. So they keep doing it because they don't know that it's something you don't like. It's just a simple conversation. You don't have to be nasty about it. Hey, you said this or that, did this, and it kind of made me feel some way. Oh, my bad. I didn't know that's a touchy subject. Da, 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 da. All right, gotcha. Cool. They don't do it again. Then you have some who will know that it does bother you. And maybe you did, communicate, have the conversation. Hey, this is a touchy subject for me. This is a sensitive thing. I don't like when you speak to me in this tone, or you speak to me or do this. It hurts my feelings. I don't like it. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. But then they do it again. Hey, Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then again, and again. Okay, now it's not a mistake. Now it's a pattern. You know that this is something I don't like and you're deliberately doing it. Now that's an abusive person. So like I said, this could break down into so many different levels. I'm telling you. And honestly, even the topic itself, the subject itself, abuse. You'd sit here for hours talking about the different forms of abuse that you or a family member or a friend or someone you know or you witness went through forms of abuse. Girl, let me tell you. Or, yo, bro, let me tell you. And then maybe that'll trigger a conversation with them. Oh, you know what? I had a friend who went through the same thing, but da 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 da. Then both of you guys can agree that abuse is wrong. And right? It just takes a conversation. I'm telling you guys, be more open-minded to having conversations. Step out of your comfort zone and have conversations about things that you don't normally have conversations about. How about that? It's so easy to talk about, oh, you saw, what's the show? Hip Hop Atlanta, Hip Hop Wives, no, Housewives of, I don't really watch those reality shows, but people love them apparently. Oh, you saw that yesterday? Or, yeah, you saw what she had on? That's not a conversation. That's gossip. Actually have conversations. Hey, I read an article about da-da-da. What do you think about this topic? I feel like he or she should get arrested. I feel like they should do this and that. Oh, you know what? I agree because I feel like blah, 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 blah. And you just try. They say broaden your horizon, right? It's Friday. The weekend is here. Why don't you guys challenge yourself this weekend, huh? Spark a random conversation with a stranger or a friend or family member and see where that conversation takes you. So random. I love the color yellow. I like the color yellow because Do you like the color yellow? No. What about the color don't you like? Well, I think it's da 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 da. It's funny you say that, ba 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 ba. But what color do you like? You random. Don't think about it. Just have a conversation and just see how that works. It could be with your kid, absolutely anyone. Try it out. It's the weekend. Let your hair down and see where it gets you. Be safe, y'all. Stay prayed and peace out.